Hi, this is Lynsey at Meyer Hatchery, and today we're going to go over a few tips on how to handle a weak chick. Brooder setup is critical when we're dealing with newborn chicks. When you first get your chicks home, you want their brooder just big enough so that they can take shelter under either a heat lamp or a heat plate. They have access to water and they have access to food. After the first week or so, our brooder setup can grow with our chicks and we can give them more room to move around. But at first, if our brooder's too big, the chicks are going to get lost and they're going to have a really hard time keeping themselves warm. Warmth is critical to our baby chicks. Keeping them warm allows their internal organs to function properly. It also allows them to better digest their food and drink their water. This chick is obviously far from being a day-old chick, but she's going to help us when we're talking about how to revive a weak chick. We also recommend that when you set up your brooder, you include a thermometer of some sort. This thermometer can tell the temperature as well as the humidity. At this stage, the humidity is not as important as the temperature, but we really want to be aware of the temperature of our brooder, as baby chicks under a week old need a temperature of at least 95 degrees in their brooder. If you notice that some chicks are a little bit lethargic or are needing some help, you can increase the temperature up to 105 degrees just to give them a little bit of a boost. But ideally, you want that temperature between 95 and 100 degrees. As I had mentioned before, this chick is far from a day-old chick. However, these tips that we're going to give you guys can be used for chicks of any age if they appear to be weak, not thriving. These are things that we can do to give them a boost. One of the big things, especially if they're struggling eating food, we can give them an egg yolk. This is just a raw egg yolk. We want it to be lukewarm, that way the cold doesn't shock their system. But this raw egg yolk will help give them very concentrated nutrients a lot quicker than if they were going to be getting just their normal feed. So the way we would do this, I always seem to have eggs around, which many people who already have chickens do, is we just want to give them the yolk, not the white. So I'll break this and I'll separate it. Once I have it separated, I'll be able to give the chick just the yolk. And you can separate it any way that you see fit. It's not as critical as if you were making a recipe because we're just wanting to give our little chick something that she can get a little bit of a boost with. And I'll break it up. That'll make it a little bit easier for her. Now, if you have a chick that's really struggling and they're not inclined to eat on their own, we can offer it to them. So we'll just dip their beak into the yolk and encourage them to eat. There we go. Here. And again, I can encourage her to eat. And then once she's interested, we can set that on the ground. When I have a weak chick, I always want to observe whenever they're eating and drinking. That way, I know that they're actually getting the nutrients down when I need them to. As I said, giving them a raw egg yolk can really give them a boost to their system. At Meyer, we sell the Vital Pack. You can purchase this with your day-old birds. You can also purchase it separately. The Vital Pack is a package of vitamins and electrolytes. We won't mix the entire packet. However, we will mix a portion of it with a little bit of the bird's water. In addition to the vitamins and electrolytes, we can also use some things that we have around the house. Just plain honey is very helpful. You can also use molasses. You can also use just regular sugar. Any of these can be used and mixed with water, so that way we're able to give that chick a little bit of sugar, a little bit of a boost, and help them get what they need to get started. You'll want to mix 1 teaspoon of either sugar, honey, or molasses with lukewarm water. Once it dissolves, we can offer that to the chick. I have got some sugar handy, so I will mix that up. It's also the least messy of the things that we can mix up. Again, I'll mix that up. I'm gonna make sure that it dissolves. And once it dissolves properly, then I can give it to my chick in a very, very small amount. Again, anytime I have a chick that's weak, I like to make sure that I observe them eating and drinking because then I know how much they're getting down and that they are getting the nutrients that they need. Got a small container, that way I don't need to give them all the sugar water at once. There you go. And again, I want to make sure that I watch my chick both eating and drinking so I know that they're getting the nutrients that they need to give them that little bit of a boost. Something else that we need to be aware of if we have a chick that's not thriving is pasty butt. Pasty butt is just what it sounds like. When a little bit of poop gets caught on the backside of the chick, they have trouble going to the bathroom, and this can cause complications and can ultimately cause them to pass away if it's not taken care of. So if we have pasty butt, there are a couple ways that we can treat it. But first, how do we check for it? We don't ever want to stress out our chick, especially one that's already showing a little bit of stress. So I will very carefully and very slowly turn them on their back, not giving them any way to struggle because I don't want to stress them out. Once I have them in a situation where they're nice and comfortable, I can check the vent area. I look underneath the tail feathers, and I want to make sure that my chick is very clean back there and not showing any buildup. Once I've determined that, and they're nice and clean, we can mark that off of our list. They do not have pasty butt. However, if we do notice some buildup back there, and it can build up very quickly, there are certain ways that we need to be able to treat this to keep it safe and comfortable for our chick. You always want to use warm water. Not hot, not cold, but warm. This way, it's as comfortable as possible for our chick. We want to make sure that we don't pull at the feathers or do anything that is going to be uncomfortable for the chick. Because at this point, they don't really have their feathers. They've just got a little bit of a down that's very, very important for them. When dealing with pasty butt, I don't like to soak my chick. Again, I don't want to do anything that's going to make them uncomfortable. So I want to make sure that I have a nice damp rag. And this rag is damp with, again, warm water. I'm going to take that water and I'm going to dab it around their vent area. Again, I'm just trying to remove any poop that there may be. I can use this damp rag to kind of move around if there is a poop buildup, and this is going to allow me to loosen it up. I want to do that so that it falls off. Again, I don't want to pull or cause any damage to the chick. Once I'm able to do that and I'm able to get it removed, then I need to be able to dry my chick. Because I've got a chick that's weak and a chick that may be struggling, I don't want to put it back in the brooder if it's wet or damp or even chilled. When drying my chick, I can use a nice warm cloth. I can take it right out of the dryer. I can even use a human hair dryer if I want to really get it nice and dry. I want to make sure that I dry the entire area, that there's no more signs of pasty butt, and my chick is not in any way wet. Because again, she's already stressed out, she's already struggling. I don't want to give her any reason to set her up for failure. So we want to be as careful and as calm as we can, give them as best of experience as we can as we clean them off and set them up for success.